Reframing. In any kind of decision-making, context counts. The simple reframing of a situation or a question can produce a totally different answer from the same person. For example, when NASA was deciding whether or not to launch the Space Shuttle Challenger in 1986, Morton Thiokol's engineers opposed the launch on safety grounds. But when the general manager instructed the engineers to take off their engineers' hats and put on their management hats, he changed their frame of reference. Instead of the launch being a decision focused on safety, it became one focused on dollars and cents. Unfortunately, the engineers then changed their minds. The Challenger was launched and exploded.
If you frame academics as something that you really care about and you really want to learn, then you're actually going to put in the work. But if you just frame it as something that you have to do in order to play a sport here, which I am guilty of, I'm not going to lie. If you frame it as something that you are excited to do and excited to be here for, then I think you will be more willing to do the readings and study the material and pay attention in class and go to class.
If you continuously talk down about assignments or going to class, you're not likely to enjoy going to the class and doing those assignments, which is necessary to enjoy education as a whole.
In sports, it is natural to focus on winning. A UCLA football coach once said, "Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing." But just as a focus on profits can lead to poor moral choices in business, if we focus solely on winning in sports and omit ethics from our frame of reference, we can also mess up.
I was actually having this conversation last night with some of my friends about cheating in sports. They were like, "Oh, I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying." And I was like, I don't think that's the right mindset.
Lance Armstrong doped while winning 7 Tour de France titles. He rationalized his doping as simply doing what it took to win, since he believed others were also doping. He ignored the fact that he was one of the major creators of the doping culture on the tour. Armstrong had dropped morality from his frame of reference, which is why he was later divested of all his titles and banned for life from competitive cycling.
It can be really hard to keep ethics in our point of view, our frame, but I feel like if you have to cheat, then are you really winning?
If you want to win at all costs, you'll dope or do something that's unethical to try to get there.
Having that as your primary motivation, your primary frame of reference can make it to where you're not putting in as much work in practice, and it's no longer about your passion for the sport or your joy.
Falling in love with the journey towards that end goal, I think, is more important. But if it's just about winning, I don't think you're gonna really perform your best or gonna be the best person you can be.
Maintaining ethics in our frame of reference is challenging, especially when winning is the goal. When a Houston Astros front office official objected because the team was considering signing a free agent pitcher who had been charged with domestic abuse, the team's general manager snapped, "I don't want your moral opinion, I want your baseball opinion." Moral opinions are never irrelevant.
I think that if you're a smart athlete, you know that winning can't be your only motivation.
If I don't win, then I know at least I tried. I gave my best. At the end of the day, I'm doing it for not just me. I'm doing it for other people, and if they can get inspired by that, then I guess I've done a decent job.
So, athletes, like business people and all the rest of us, are advised to always keep ethics in their frame of reference in order to live up to their own moral standards.
My frame of reference is I get to do this. There's not many people that get to do this.
It helps me shape a mindset to where I'm like, oh wow, this is something that I'm lucky to do, and it actually makes me more excited. And that's what I do every single time. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this. I'm like, no, I get to do this.
I want to do this so that I can stand up for something I believe in and really give my best effort. And then if winning comes, it'll come.
You should prioritize winning, but it's like the journey to trying to become a champion.
I think if you think of it in that frame of reference, then you should be able to win with integrity.